wait to see what she's going to do today. She actually ended up getting a 3-piece on the Swagg's team, I believe in week number 2 or week 1. It was great. But let's do it, Lucky. We are hopping into map number 1 of 8. I can't wait to do it, and we're starting off with the back-to-back champions.
On to Diazbiffle. And one thing I want to touch up on, when they go to their land spot, not a lot of the teams are doing this, but they land in the general area, but kind of like spread out a lot, right? You know, because once that first elimination goes down, you know, you're now on radar. Okay, those teams are going to see where exactly your other 2 teammates are at, and it's very quick to get eliminated.
It is very quick indeed, and love that we start off with this roster, man, because they've just been so good. And fun fact for everybody out there and Lucky, right? I mean, when we talk about Diazbiffle, he is not only back-to-back champion from week 1 to week 2, as I've said multiple times now, but he is also the kill leader of the entirety of all the teams in back-to-back weeks, which is truly special. He's hovering around the 49 or even upwards of 50-plus eliminations, and I think it was Ziesman who, or excuse me, not Ziesman who joined him. It was Shifty who joined him and kind of tied his eliminations. But I mean, he's such a good player. What makes Biffle so good?
You know what, man? There's something about this kid, dude. It's just he's naturally talented at any game he touches. We would play a random game. We were playing, you know, just other titles, and this guy was just good at it. He was just running through them.
Some people could do that.
Oh man, and especially just going from Call of Duty title to Call of Duty title. You know, you had Warzone 1 with Verdansk, Caldera. The map change plays such an important role. He doesn't play Resurgence that much, but he's able to come, slay out. It's that natural talent.
They could transfer. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's Call of Duty, it's Warzone, right? And you know how to slay out, and this is kind of just an exemplified version of that. Big engagements, though, going down. Zyro, the man that you said you were looking to see how he's going to play today, you know, I brought him to at least the attention of the chat from week number 1 because I saw this great video Swagg released, kind of watching over him dropping, I think it was a 60 bomb on Vondel Resurgence. Yeah, I mean, by himself solo quadding, which is never an easy thing to do. You're always going to be in 1v4s, and that's kind of the worst case scenario. But regardless, though, he hasn't been that great when it comes to these tournaments, and I don't know why that is, but I'm expecting a lot today, but he drops.
Oh, no.
And that's going to be a tough drop. As he'll be back, but let's see what they can do later on.
Yeah, that's going to be Louis' team or Louis is going to be the last one standing up, but hopping on board with Adrian. Here we go. He's with Dongan, of course, rated. They're going towards fire on the edge zone. We saw this also in week 2 where they were kind of landing all the way out on the corners of the map and then rotating in. That could play a huge role, but also you don't want to miss out on those eliminations. So it looks like they're switching it up a little bit. Their center zone right now on fire. Zone's going to be pulling a little bit south on the map. He's got the TAC V, which is a meta change. Recent couple updates ago, or a couple days ago in the recent update. Yeah, the Ironside TAC V has been a big shift in the AR meta aside from the Cronin. So we'll be seeing that, and then I think for the SMGs, we'll for sure be seeing the MP5 and the ISO being used same amount.
Yeah, I mean, it shreds. That new TAC V is, I mean, Spider Tiff was saying she's a fan now. She's got to change up her meta. I mean, it's just such a great weapon that everybody is using, and it truly is the new meta, which will make World Series of Warzone later on a bit more interesting, because as we know, there's always updates, so who knows what's going to be changing since then. But Adrian on your screen seems like he hasn't slowed down since playing with Hisoka on Monday. He's frying, he's flying, he's got the high ground, and he's looking everywhere. Don't take too much damage, though, but he's got 12 plates. So this man, he's healthy.
Yep. Mortar strike coming in. Gonna have to kind of dodge those mortar strikes. You could be, you know, pretty lenient with. The P strikes coming in. You better take some cover.
That's right. You got to get out of the way. Mortar strike, though, I've seen people or players drop it on themselves and then push out into the open. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think a good example was, I think Juki's, if I'm not mistaken, was FIFA kill on Monday, making so many great plays. It was FIFA kill. He's making so many great plays. Endgame was wonderful. He throws out a mortar strike, and that was the only way he died. Everybody else couldn't kill him. He could kill himself, though, with the mortar strike. Sometimes that's just the way it is. But Adrian's got some more players in his line of sight, and he just doesn't. He does not miss.
Wow. Yeah, that Ironside TAC V. Yeah, that's Hisoka. That's going to be another powerhouse team, too. I think when these players are in these engagements and they recognize a name that's, you know, a little bit more respected, Hisoka just getting second place last tournament, they can't play too aggro, right? They can't just full send him and be like, okay, we're going to go ahead and wipe this team. They got to play it smart, play the picks, get the armor advantage, get the player advantage, and then slowly work their way in. And that's exactly what we're seeing out of Adrian. He's not going to get too aggro. He's going to hold down his position and get another kill. That's going to be on Team Limax with Breadman. Joewo also getting replaced recently, but shots are looking clean across the map. No sight needed coming in with Adrian. He's going to be mounted. And, oh, he's going to get the white shots. No armor for that player. He's going to go ahead and back it up. Doesn't need that.
You said bread, man. It's tough to like take an angle on him. Obviously, it's just chaotic. You just engage on whoever you see. Oh, wait a second. Speak of the devil, we're going from rooftop. You don't challenge Adrian like that without a plan. You're gonna get punished, and that was a good example of it. Good job, Adrian, holding his ground so his teammate gets back in.
Yeah, that was Hisoka coming back for his revenge, straight down. Oh, that's gonna be. Oh my God, it's gonna be flanked. So there's about 3 to 4 different teams around this area. TBE is gonna be near Zoo as well. I mean, we're gonna see a very aggressive zone 1 pool. I mean, this zone is already, I'd say, a quarter of the map already out, and then you got the water taking place on the south side. So it looks like TBE, which does a phenomenal job at rotating. Everyone knows they do great with the rotation and stuff like that. They're posted up at a powerhouse location, that being Zoo top. And we look at that. Noose is using the proximity bias. I love it, Noose. He's setting up base. He's looking good. There we go.
That's right. Hey, honestly, that's the way to do it, though. When you take over these rooftops, you can only watch so many entry points, so many choke points, and throw down a proximity mine, maybe a claymore, it clears that area out. Even if it blows up, I mean, come on, it's so hard to get a kill in a lobby as stacked as this with a proximity mine or a claymore, but it at least helps you out, and you know somebody's coming, and with Noob's reaction time, hey, he's going to be beaming you down as soon as you get through that doorway.
That's interesting too. I've been looking at a lot of the perks coming in from the players today. For the most part, on a regular resurgence map, most players will rock the high alert. But in an environment like this, you're seeing quick fix. You're seeing bird's eye, which is very useful in the beginning first 1 through 5th zones, and then high alert not being used as much. It'll be interesting to see the different kind of loadouts people are using, especially the map change as well, right? You could get away with the iron sight tactic on the big map, or on the Vondel, but not the big map,
Yeah, true. Although we do see it from time to time, but regardless, here it's a punishing weapon. It really is. TBE has been one of those teams that loves to go more towards stadium, but like you said, this time switching it up, maybe going towards Zoo, and we'll see where they end up going if they do end up going to stadium. That's kind of been their area. 6 kills coming out for Blast & Co., another talented roster who has been doing incredibly well throughout this series over the past 2 weeks. Now on week number 3, but now you got a question, is this where you start turtling up too hard on the rooftop because they're not seeing anybody? When do you start rotating out Lucky to search and destroy?
Well, one thing, that kind of, I think a lot of people at home need to realize too, compared to the big map, the zone doesn't go all the way to 9th, closing on 10th. On Vondel, it actually closes in final zone on 7th. So these players have to recognize that they have to play a little bit faster, a little bit sooner compared to the bigger map. So I would say between the 1st and 3rd zone, you want to play a little bit aggro, right? You want to get those kills. You want to slay out, like you mentioned, search and destroy. But once you're going on the 4th and 5th, start setting up at a powerhouse location, kind of like what we're seeing out of Blast, Slimax, and Bread, which it looks like they took over from Team Adrian's, right? Adrian rated. They were just here just a second ago. Looks like they got pushed out by them. So, around 4th to 5th zone, you want to slow it down, right? And that's going to be Skullface. Hisoka's still around here as well. The bird's eye is going to come into play. They know where the last 2 are at. We might see another tough engagement coming out.
My Hisoka, the boogeyman, he came back before. He couldn't take down Adrian, but I think that just made him more angry, right? Because that was like, dude, I just took you to victory. Well, I didn't take you there, but at least you're my teammate to win some money on Monday, and now you want to take me down and stop me from making money again? Hey, I'm coming back for your throat. Hisoka, though, like you mentioned at the top of show, brother, like, just 2nd place in weeks 1 and week 2, like, eventually, they've got to break away. They've got to overtake Diazbiffle. If they could do so, that's a lot of money going to them. They were only 4 points. Blast, though, down on the ground, but on these rooftops, right, you can get rezzed, get rekitted back up with your plates, and go for another re-engagement.
And that's where those brand new armor vests that was recently introduced in the season. You got the Ghost, you got Enhanced UAV, and the Medic, right? Then Medic, I think, has been the most favorable out of all the 3 stealth vests to grab, especially when it comes down to reviving your teammates. The revive time is a lot quicker. You can get him back up and get him into the fight, especially when those P strikes or mortar strikes are coming in and following up after a knock. It's great to kind of see where that plays out.
Yeah, I can get eyes on buy now. 2 secs.
I see him up close and personal, taking a little bit of damage. Maybe some opponents going to be on the outside, but for the time being on the inside, they're all right. He did take down 1. You always got to be wary of course, Resurgence. Got to be wary of the teammates coming back into play. We're down to 17 total teams left, which is still pretty slow. Like I said, I think the lobbies have definitely slowed down quite a bit from the beginning. But on your screen, Gorgo, right? Unrational Scum, and this trio made waves last week. They're looking to do it again this week.
Yeah, they're looking good here. They got 3rd place last week. And Gorgo Knight right here, he's the most known for his Resurgence gameplay, but he's one of the few Resurgence players that has actually had a very easy transition from going from, you know, slaying out in a regular public match Resurgence lobby to playing against the best of the best in a custom game. And just like that, Resurgence disabled. So now the intensity is going to pick up here. No more lies, pop the flares if need be, be close to a buy station. He's going to be able to get out. Temper's going to help him out, replace those plates. Quick and easy. He's got 2 eliminations, 1 player above him. Sneak up with MP5. That's going to be 2 brick armor. 1, he's out. He knows he can't take that fight alone. He's done.
That's right. I like this area, though, right? There's a lot of different ways you can travel. Case in point right here. We're going for a beatdown. He doesn't get it, though. He's got to jump up. He's got to try and finish, but he can't just yet. He's got to reposition. These water fights, Lucky, they're tense.
Oh, man. He's there with his throwing knife, which is going to be able to get those quicker knocks. Just not quick enough. He's going to go ahead and rotate a little bit on the left-hand side. And notice how he's kind of getting back to his teammates now. This is what I talked about at the top of the show. Is like you have to slow it down a little bit, change the tempo, play a little bit more with your teammates. And that's exactly what we're going to do. That's going to be Scummin taking out AJ, which is Zyro's team. So they're going to be out for the count at 17th. It's not a place when you want to get that first
Not
game
at all.
on. No, but...
No, especially whenever you're trying to do better, right, from weeks 1 and week 2. I really want to see Zyro break in the top 10 eventually, and I'm sure he's going to be able to do so. We'll see what Unrational Co. are going to be doing a little bit later. Diazbiffle, though, like I said, champions from week 1 and week 2. I believe he's currently at 9 eliminations.
Wow.
This has been our kill leader in back-to-back weeks, Lucky, and it looks like he's looking to do it for a 3rd week.
Yeah, he's looking good with the 9 eliminations, which is a great amount to have, especially as a team. But individually, I would love to see how Sage and Shifty are holding up as well in the kill department. But notice that, you know, for the viewers at home, what Diazbiffle just did. Now, around the map, there are the portable, you know, zip lines that you can take around the map to help rotate. He's going to go ahead and get rid of those. He doesn't want anyone contesting his high ground. He wants to keep the top of the roof, make sure no one lands on him, and just hold his power position while looking down at everybody else. And notice they are a little split as well. Shifty's going to be a rooftop over. Diaz and Sage are going to hold down here. So I could assume that one of these players does have a flare just in case as well. The player does go down, especially playing this split. There's going to be Shifty there with 4 eliminations. So that's already looking like 13.
Wow,
13. The
13.
live pings are coming in.
So I think 15 total is
There
what
we
I just
go.
seen.
Wow.
Yep, 15 total. It's not bad, especially when you think there's 16 teams still left, right? They may not be full trios, but like you got 16 teams left. You know they're going to rack up more. You were asking on Twitter, right, for a 30 bomb today. I don't think we've seen one just yet, but I'm hoping we get one today. I want to say 24, 25 is the max we have seen in both week 1 and week 2, but this week might be a little bit different. Back on board with Unrational and Co. Smokes are out. Maybe they got challenged. Last time we looked at them, right, they were fighting in the water. They were getting back together as a team, but they're playing that edge of the zone, and in about 30 seconds, they're going to have to rotate in, and there's already a squad keeping them back.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit tougher to do here, you know, hopping on board when we were on board with Gary right there just a second ago. And Scummin. I think we have Zepti here warming up for the next match, but Diaz here focusing on there. Now look at in terms of the positioning that Diaz is in right now, right? He's center zone, spread out a little bit, holding down that rooftop, and then just a second ago we were with Scummin and Gary, and they had a tough rotation going into the 5th, 6th zone, and that's what we kind of talked about at the beginning of the match. It's like when it comes down to those rotations end game, you got to be able to set up. You don't want to be rotating out because teams like Diaz are going to hold you out, and just like that, Diaz, the nade's not going to connect. The stun is so. He's going to be weak. He's got 10 plates. Yeah.
He's got to be careful here, right? Resurgence is over, but one of the beautiful things is they have literally like the ultimate height inside the next zone, and everybody is going to be rotating into them, and they've got pretty much an eagle's-eye vision on all the teams that are going to be rotating through. They're already at 14 or 15 eliminations. This could very well be a record-breaking game from them, but as we do see, DJ Moss, unfortunately, is going to drop in 12th. We're going to see teams start to drop like flies with Resurgence being over with. I'm looking around. I don't see a buyback. Of course, you could use the gun to bring your teammates back in if they're still around. But I think the big storyline right now, Shifty, Biffle, Stage, what are they going to be able to do?
Absolutely. Notice too, Shifty's using the portable or little covers right there. That's huge. If you especially plant one of those down, you get a little mount going on. Now you got a head glitch no matter where you go. He is going to hold some players coming out of the zone right here. We saw Zidong get eliminated just a second ago while he was fighting, I believe, Skeptic. Nade's going to come into play, not connect to anything there. That smoke's going to be great, too, for that rotation. Gas is just in zone. That's going to be a team wipe within Sage. 9 teams remaining. He is now in the double digits, which is looking
Nice.
good. Now, the kind of score you want to hit, and it's not just about having one good game. It's about being consistent across the board,
That's right.
You want to try to
Yeah.
close out the top tier position, you know, anything above 5th place, I'd say, with about 20 eliminations consistently throughout the whole tournament. And you'll find yourself in a top 3 position when it comes down to that 8th and final game. And Diaz is going to start off strong right now. The rotation's coming in. Diaz is going to go ahead and try to get some eliminations last second here.
Fuck it.
Do you have a Dury?
From rooftop to rooftop they go, Lucky.
There
They're
we go.
on the move. I like that, right? They're going to try at least to keep the high ground as much as possible. And I do believe they're going to be able to find another building inside safe. Yeah, as you see Biffle, who's already going to be over there. So again, positioning masters, and this is what makes them so consistent and so good. Nice damage and a nice finish from a player down below. And Biffle, he's going to go ahead and carry the torch himself. I think get a finish. He's still at 10, but I got to imagine his team is around 20 eliminations so far, but only 4 trios remaining. I don't see anybody dethroning Shifty, Sage, and Biffle. They're a strong trio at the moment. They've got a team pinned up into the building down below. They're eventually going to have to rotate out, obviously, get in safe zone, and Biffle's already got one in his line of sight.
Yeah, and just a big, you know, for the people watching at home, Diaz is the only trio. Team Diaz is the only trio last alive. There's only 4 teams remaining. The last group of 3 alive. One player's going to land on him. Cracking armor. Going to go in for a bait and switch. That's going to be Team Breadman knocking out. Smitty's still alive. That's going to be Team Ahsoka. So you're seeing the same teams right now.
Wow.
The top 5 positioning. So now it's anybody's game. Shifty is holding it down. Not a lot of plates to work with. Your 2v, possibly. Oh, now we're looking at 2v2v2, 2v3v1. Lots of coming in.
Nice. Good stuff coming out from Shifty. One. That's the second. A victory well within their grasp. Lucky, but hold up a second. A wrench thrown in as we are going to see at least Sage go down, but already a res. And I love that squad mate redeployed. That's got to be really a defeating kind of a thing, right? For if you're playing against them, you eliminate one. Now all of a sudden you got to do it again. You've got 3 of them now swarming in on you into the zone. Doesn't matter. You're down and out. Script is gone. And now you got one more team remaining, Lucky. This is going to be the winning moment.
Absolutely. We have 15 Sage, the last live in a 2v2 situation. One's going to drop the shot so can clean with the Cronin. That's going to be Hisoka. Looking to clean that up. The team wipe is there. 27 eliminations for Team D is taking out game number 1. Oh my gosh.
That's insane, dude. 27, which, like I said, I think that's going to be a record, brother. I thought this was going to be a record-breaking game, and it was at least when it comes to Lions versus Drake the Vondel battles. Biffle at 11, Shifty at 11. They were neck and neck when it came to eliminations last week, both sitting at, I believe, 59 or at least the high 50s. Well done from them.
Wow.
Lucky, that's a great game. And their positioning is the big thing. That's what, again, sets them apart from every other team in the previous weeks is they not only can slay out, but they're slaying out because of their positioning.
Of course, right? You know, we've noticed these teams that were looking at Team Scummin, right? They had a little bit of a tougher rotation coming in, had to fight their way through gas station. Team was already posted up. Like I mentioned before, 5th, 6th zone, teams were posted up, and we saw that from Team Diaz, and they had control of both rooftops. How are we getting 3 guys on 2, 3 different rooftops, holding it down? No one's contested.
That's
Everything
right.
looked clean.
It was clean, bro, but remember, Adrian was the first team we watched at locking down a rooftop. We switched off. I think that was when we went to go on watch on Rational Scummin & Co. And then we come back. Adrian's no longer there, and Biffle's taken over their spot. So there was clearly a battle. But one thing that remained consistent, you called it out from the start to the end, was Hisoka, right? Coming back for revenge on Adrian. He ended up dying, but he was there at the very end. And it just makes sense because Biffle, as well as Hisoka squad, have been first and second week in and week out. Lula bringing back in Vortex as well as Blade. Now, I believe getting 18th place. Not a good finish. So the original trio that performed incredibly well in week 1 are going to have to make it up in game number 2 if they can do so. Breadman going down in 4th. But I mean, honestly, Lucky, not a lot of surprises team-wise,
Right.
At least at the very end.
Right, no, it was pretty much the same teams we've been seeing consistently at the final moments of each match. But on top of that, too, what I want to touch up on is those flare usage. You know, Diazbiffle falls, a flare's popped immediately. He can get back in the match, get back to fighting. Because once those 3v3s or 3v2s turn to 3v2s, 3v1s, it gets a little bit difficult. So having those flares, especially for endgame, where surges close, is huge. Because most of the time, getting to a buy station, this, you know, competitive lobby is going to be impossible.
Dude, it's so hard. Like
Yeah,
we've seen
man.
teams, we have seen some heroic efforts, but it doesn't last very long because normally you get the res and now you're getting gunned down. So it's just kind of how it works out. Well, a great map number 1, a lot of turns and a lot of great engagements.